Okay, everybody. So, what a long day. But this, meet the pill cam. This is the camera that I had to swallow early this morning. Don't ask me how I got it out. But it worked its way out about an hour ago, finally. And so this is a one way of doing an endoscopy or a full body, I guess. Well, pretty much endoscopy, but it was flashing really bright, and it flashes and it's constantly taking photos nonstop, like boom, 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 boom for 8 hours straight from like 7 a.m. It starts till like 3 p.m. or 7:20 to 3:20 today, and you just have to, prep before and all that stuff, and make sure that you're empty and all that before you swallow this, and you have to like fast for almost 24 hours beforehand, and just water and then nothing at all, which was terrible because I get dehydrated from like 8 p.m. until 11:30, I think, or 9:30 in the morning. Then you can start drinking water, and then you can have breakfast or whatever and all that stuff. But because you have to be clean, and empty so they can see. But this is a little camera. I don't know if you could see it. It was actually pretty easy to swallow. I have oops, and I broke. Oh, it's lighting up again. Check that out. Great. So are you guys photographing this again? Look, it's lighting up again. I dropped it, so I activated it again. They're probably getting more photos. Well, anyway, hopefully they're not taking more photos now because the test stopped at 3:30. So let's just try to get this thing to stop flashing. Great. Hopefully it's not going to mess up the test now. But they got their photos and stuff, they said, at 3:30. But anyway, this little flashing pill, you swallow it and with water, and after starving yourself for 24 hours, and then it comes out on its own, and you clean it up and all that other stuff. Obviously, I use a lot of bleach, and I just thought it would be interesting to show you guys the wave of the future. It's got a tiny little camera in there, very powerful with a flash, and it just keeps taking all these photos. And I don't know why it started up again, but because I dropped it on the floor, but it wasn't flashing when it came out, so I can't get it to stop flashing. So anyway. But I'll probably just break it so that it stops. But they don't recycle these, just so that I don't have to like bring it back and then somebody else has to eat it. But anyway, so yeah, not to be gross, but these are one of the many things I've been going through. This is the least invasive, so I'm glad for technology. I just hope it got what they needed, and I hope they're not watching me do this right now. Because it wasn't doing this before, and then I dropped it on the floor, and now it's activated again. So they said it dies after 8 hours, but apparently not. So that's some good technology. It's probably taking photos of the whole house now. So the GI team's gonna get a lot more than they hoped for. Maybe I'll swallow it again and see if we can get another set of. I'm kidding. I gotta go to bed. I'm so tired. Another long day tomorrow. I have to be at the DMV early in the morning. Well, not early, but like 12 something for an appointment I've waited a month for to fix registration errors that were not my fault. And again, so if you have to have an endoscopy, hopefully you'll get one of these little pill cans. And the prep is a lot better than drinking a gallon of salt water and all that stuff. I didn't have to do any of that. And so much better, so much easier. You swallow this thing, and then they can take all the photos inside your body. So let's hope and pray that they got everything that they needed and they were able to see everything. My concern was that by the time it got to the point where, because I could feel it going through, well, you couldn't feel it until it got towards the end of the test, and then I started cramping and a lot of pain and stuff, so you can tell that this was going through the area that's affected. Like at the last hour of the test. So I was hoping that this was able to get the photos they needed of that area before the test is over, because otherwise it was for nothing if they didn't. But the nurse said that they got what they needed, so All right. Well, have a good night, guys. I will keep you updated on my journey of this circus of health issues that I deal with. And sorry I look this way, but it's been a rough few days, and I'm in a lot of constant pain. And it's also a lot of bone pain, too. And some of these illnesses that they're testing for cause a lot of pain in the bones because, like I said, I have multiple autoimmune diseases, genetic in the blood, high platelets and large platelets now, like blast cells. That could be cancer, bone cancer. A lot of bone pain the past couple of years. It's hard to walk and move. Today was a very painful day. It was hard to stand on my feet at all or walk. But I did a lot of walking and moving to keep this thing going through, and it's excruciating pain I'm in. You can't even lay down, even when you rest to get off your feet. Like, if it literally feels like somebody jammed large spikes through both your feet, from the ankle bone all the way through, like you're crucified. And then last night, a new symptom started. My hands start feeling like that too once in a while. But last night, right here in my wrist, I never felt anything before. It was like 3 a.m. and it felt like somebody had stuck a large nail right through. I could feel it go in one side and out the other. And it was, oh man, it was so excruciating. I'm like, what is this? I didn't know if it was a blood clot in my wrist, or if it was, I feel like somebody's doing something to me, like some kind of witchcraft or something, because this is, the doctors are baffled. Like, you don't understand what the pain I go through. And it's so strange. It comes and goes. And then some days you'll just be fine. And then all of a sudden it'll feel like somebody broke your femur with a baseball bat. Bam! And it's just like, and you can't walk. And it's so deep and excruciating, the pain. And it throbs all day. You can't walk. And it's all deep in the bones, in weird spots. It comes and goes. So this has been going on for years and getting worse. And so now they're starting to see in the blood that there's autoimmune diseases and, genetic mutations and platelet issues and all kinds of stuff. So they're just trying to figure out, okay, is it cancer? I have diverticulosis, they found. I have now they're looking for acute or severe ulcerative colitis, because I've had a lot of ulcers and stuff. They're looking for Crohn's disease. All these things came back positive in the test. So it's like I have it all. And so you can imagine any one of those being debilitating and obstructive to your work day. And I live with multiple problems. I mean, I don't sleep much at night because I can't lay down because my neck is broken. Like, there's serious spinal stenosis. I've had multiple surgeries. My entire back is bone on bone in degenerative disc disease with bone spurs. And it just, guys, please. I'm 41 years old and I'm starting to look old now because I can't fight the pain and the sleepless nights anymore. It's starting to catch up to me. Some days I wake up, I look refreshed. But it's just been a heck of a lot of suffering for a long time now. And we're hopefully going to get to the bottom of a lot of it. These autoimmune diseases of the gut can affect your entire body and cause other problems. They're looking at possible cirrhosis of my liver, and I do not drink often at all. So I don't do meds or drugs or any of that stuff. It would be because of this autoimmune disease of the gut. It affects your liver bile ducts, and it causes scar tissue, and then it causes liver problems. And I have a very fatty liver, they said, which is damaging to the liver, and it can cause bile duct scarring and liver failure. And it's just every time there was just so many bad reports the past couple weeks. And I don't know how they haven't found all this before. I mean, they had seen signs of it, but it wasn't, it comes and goes. It's like cyclical, and it was escalating. But now, the past couple runs of blood work showed that there's a lot going on. So now they're like, okay, now they're serious. And they're like, okay, let's get you in here right away and start doing these procedures. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. I've been complaining about this for so long. And so we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it's not a death sentence. Hopefully, it's just... some of us just have to deal with a lot of chronic illness our entire life. I mean, I have been a sick child my whole life. I've had all these illnesses and stuff, and I was with Donna today, and I was just looking at these construction workers and stuff, and they're young and they're good looking and they're built and they're lifting all this heavy stuff and they're making big bucks, and they're gonna have great families one day, and they have the life. And I always felt robbed because everything I've ever set out to do has been cursed and damaged because of my health. During the good periods, I was an up-and-coming actor and model, and then the health cycle started again. It's cyclical, and I would be down and out for months and very sick and lose jobs and contracts and movie deals, and it got to the point where I, kind of had to leave the biz, and then I started feeling better, and then I'd get another good job, and then my health would attack it, and I'd lose it, and then, I finally got into seminary, but my health got real bad right before I sold my home and went to seminary. So I went to seminary sick, and it just really was really hard to hide. Real hard to hide. I wasn't fooling anybody. And so that was another reason why they were upset with me, because they're like paying a lot of money for your education and stuff. And I was extremely tired, CO2 levels, I'm nodding off all the time, They thought I was on drugs. I couldn't sleep at night. And religious life on top of seminary, both are very, very grueling. The long hours of school and the travel in between schools, and then you have a lot of housework to do and prayers, and you're 7 days a week. You never get a break. You can't just say, oh, I need a nap when you don't feel well, or a sick day. It's constant, go, 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 go. You never get a day off. And you're always with your community, so if you say, listen, unless you have the flu, you have to tough it out, and you have to read like 20 books a week, and you're writing 30 page book reports every week for every class. It was crazy. And that was just the first semester of a master's degree program. And I was just too sick to do it, I guess. So maybe it was God's will that I leave, and I don't know. But I was always hopeful that I'd be able to get back into religious life, or maybe be a brother or something. But the way my health has been deteriorating so fast lately, the chronic fatigue, the pain. Today I could barely walk anywhere. I was hobbling everywhere. Couldn't keep my balance. I mean, it comes and goes. It was just... Plus I had this whole contraption wrapped around with wires and everything, because this camera has to talk. It records the photos on this big box that you wear, and it was very heavy, like a very heavy thing wrapped around my neck, and it just pulls my neck down all day, and my neck is very bad, very delicate. So, and then they wrapped this thing around my whole waist very tightly, and it was crushing my back and my spine. So I was like contorted for over 8 hours. And it was very painful. Put my neck and back into a S shape all day, and it was heavy. And so it was not a fun day for me at all. So I'm just glad to get all that off and stretch, but I'm tired. And then tomorrow I have another long day because I got to get back to work, and I got to wait for these results, and that's going to be nerve-wracking. And I have to go to DMV and fix things that they messed up on my registration when I bought the vehicle in 2020. So, and I still feel so sick right now and in pain. So, I don't know. Hopefully we could just figure out, what's going on and get me on like disability or Title 19, because it's getting to that point where I need to be now. There's just no way. I have to... The hardest thing for me is to swallow my pride and know that all my dreams are never going to happen. I'll never be able to be a priest now. I'll never be able to be a brother. I will never be able to go to the gym and lift weights again, or play sports, or just be a real guy. I'm so delicate and fragile. I can't lift much. Yesterday we were at a church event, and they asked me to... help them move some tables and equipment, and I did my best, and I really hurt my back just by lifting 60-pound table, and I had help. It wasn't a big deal. All these other guys were carrying heavy stuff and tables over their heads on their own, these big 10-seater tables, and then there's me like an old man, and it really is humiliating. Very, very humbling and humiliating when you look healthy, and people think, oh, you're just lazy. Why are you sitting around? Why aren't you helping? Put the chairs and tables away. And it's like, because I can't. Because if I do, now tomorrow I won't be able to walk. Well, I did it because I got tired of hearing people, can you help, can you help, can you help? So I pushed myself. I only moved a few chairs, moved a table, and I was racked with pain and my arms and everything all day today because of it. And then I had to do this procedure. Got no sleep at all last night. Couldn't, because I don't usually fall asleep until between 2 and 7 a.m. or later because I'm up all night with health issues. So to make me have to be up by 4 in the morning so I could be in the hospital at 6:45 a.m. sharp was not... on no sleep was also... It was a long day, you know, and you couldn't really sleep with that contraption on, so... and then I had to get this thing out and, you know, wait for that. So that's done, and what a fiasco that was. So yeah, and then tomorrow we do it all over again. So, you know what? This message is for people who are ungrateful in life. You know, looks are skin deep. People look at me and say, oh, you're healthy. You're a healthy 40-year-old guy. You're fine. You know, you don't know how sick somebody can be and suffering with serious illnesses and pain that you cannot see. And then there's mental illness too, which I don't have, but I'm surprised I haven't lost my mind with this yet. And that's also debilitating. And people live with it every day and have to hide it. And you don't know, you know, so you shouldn't judge. That's why God says don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge people because you don't know. Everything's skin deep, you know, superficial on the outside. We have to play the game to survive and pay the bills, but inside it could be hell, foretaste of hell, and that's my life. And I'm not saying this to complain. I'm saying this that, you know, I was very ungrateful in my youth when I was a lot healthier. I was never with good health, but I should have taken advantage of the times where I did have a better youth, you know, in my youth. And for those of you out there who, you know, are blessed with good genetics and good health, and you're pumping iron, and you think who you are because you're so good looking, and you're a ladies' man, you got the sports car, and you're flying 100 miles an hour down the road because you know you're young and good looking and muscular, and you got great jobs, and you know what? Do you have God? Because let me tell you something. God gives you that, and He could take it away. And I used to look like you when I was younger, and I had a fairly good looks and all that stuff, and look at me now. So the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Without Him, you are nothing. And if that's all you live for, well, wait until one day, one accident, one illness, one thing, and it's all gone. So don't get too proud and haughty and arrogant because, you know, everybody gets old eventually or sick. And your life's not guaranteed. I mean, you might die young. So the most important thing is that you have a God-centered life, that Christ is really the center of your life. I would never be able to survive all of these health issues, pain, sleepless nights for years on end, just one terrible thing after another, family rejecting me, loss of my loved ones. I mean, just one thing in my dream, my one big, huge dream. I had two. One was to be an actor in Hollywood, and just when I was up and coming, my health failed me and everything, and I had left the biz. And then my dad got sick, and I lost him, and so I was out of the showbiz, and I was able to finally pursue my spiritual goal, which was to be a priest one day. And just when I finally had the miracle come through at 39 to finally get there, and every day I was so grateful to be in that classroom. I was like, wow, I'm really here with all these other guys, and we're going to be priests one day, and I was so happy, so happy. And then within 6 months, it all came crumbling down, and my health got worse, and I found myself with no home, no family, no nothing. And thank God for Donna here, and I don't know where my future is going to go now. Now I'm just trying to survive every day, literally. And I can't work as much as most people because I'm so sick all the time. So I'm grateful for the part-time job that I have in caregiving. I take care of other people like me. And I just don't see a light at the end of the tunnel at this point now, because if I get worse, or if I'm dying, or whatever, then I'm no longer going to have any hopes or dreams. There will be no home of my own again, or seminary for me, or wife and kids, or good job, or happy ending. So that's why God is important, and my faith is important, because it's all I really have to look forward to. And if I die, or we all will one day, or after this hell of a life on this terrible planet, I hope to go to heaven and at least have a happy ending. Because if not, out of the pot and into the fire. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. I don't even want to think about it. I mean, imagine an eternity way, way worse than your worst day on earth. I don't want that. My life has suffered. I've suffered enough. I don't need to be in hell for eternity. So that's why I'm strong in faith. And we're going to offer up all this suffering like I always do to the Lord and to others for those who need it. And that's it. You have to live. You have one day at a time. That's all you can do. And hope for the best and keep on serving the Lord and keep on rendering unto Caesar what is Caesar's and giving the Lord first what is his. And that's all we can do. But like I said, I could not do it without my faith. Jesus takes care of me. He doesn't take away all the suffering all the time or make it easy, but he certainly gets me through. And so I'm grateful, Lord, for that and for what I do have and what I have had and for the time I've been given. And we shall see where this goes. If I don't have a death sentence, I certainly have a long rest of my life ahead of me of chronic illness. That's for sure. Without a miracle, and I've had miracle healings in the past, but without a miracle from God, there's no way I'm going to ever be myself again, be healthy again. This is it. I have to prepare for a disabled life, and it stinks. And I'm kind of trying to think, like, I don't want to give up hope. You know, I'm like, well, gee, Lord, maybe if I'm sick or chronically ill or I'm going to die one day, maybe I can still be a priest somehow. Maybe the bishop will speed me through and maybe anoint me and ordain me before I die because I want to die a priest. But maybe this is the way, the only way but it's unlikely. And because I haven't had enough time in seminary. And maybe the only way to survive would be to be on Title 19, I guess, because I can't support myself like this. I'm too sick to work all the time, and I don't have any money. So I just work week to week. My paycheck's just week to week, and it's just enough for groceries just to keep afloat. I can't save anything. And it's just like every day is such a struggle to go to work because I'm so sick. And I'm like, you know, there's good days, but it's just like, what am I doing? Can I just die, please? Because this is like, I got to go to work like this, and I got to hide it, and I got to smile and be like, I'm not in a lot of excruciating pain right now. Oh, no, everything's about you and this company and making you money so I can have a paycheck next week. And it's just like, so I can do it all over again and stay on this hamster wheel until it kills me. But you have to survive, and it just stinks because it's like, can I have any happiness? Can I still be able to work in a movie and have royalties coming in one day and make it a little easier so I can do something I love even though I'm sick? Can I still be a priest at least and just hear confessions all day? I can do that from a wheelchair. I mean, come on. I'm not ready to give up. I'm not throwing the towel in. I'm trying to be optimistic and still find a way even though everything's against me. So why is the world so closed off to these opportunities? Why can't I find a bishop who will still put me through seminary like this and let me be an inspiration, you know, or a suffering soul? Why can't I still be a priest even though I'm sick? You know, why can't I still be an actor? Why won't anybody give me any roles in Christian films? Just, you know, so what? I'm sick. I can still film. You know, I have good days. Like, why can't I be sick in film? Why can't that be part of the character? You know, like, why is this world always expect nothing but the best? The best looking, the healthiest, the alpha males, the rest of us just get pushed to the curb. That's where Jesus comes into the picture, because he didn't come for those people who didn't need him. He was there for the blind, the sick, the widowed, the orphan, the dying. Those of us, the paralyzed, screaming, Lord, Lord, help me, save me, as he walked through the streets. And he never turned anybody down. So he came to be an example to all of us of how we're supposed to be to others. And people still aren't doing that. You don't care about me. My own family, they know how sick I am. They don't care. They don't talk to me. They want nothing to do with me. They should have had me in their home where they could take care of me. Instead, they told me to go kill myself or go die in the street in a homeless shelter. Like, that's more painful in here and in here than all of this physical illness, which is real bad. Now, to have all this and have to deal with that too. There are days where I'm like, wow, Lord, you are my rock, my strength, because it is humanly impossible to get up and have another day and just keep going with all of this, all of these crosses, all of these kicks to the teeth. Matter of fact, my tooth broke at church the other day. The front tooth now. I'm going on Friday to fix the back tooth, which broke in half. Now my front tooth's broken in half. It's always something. And I don't have the money to fix this stuff. And I was just saying the other day, I'm like, well, at least the front teeth are okay. That broke too. I'm finding out it's all because of malnutrition, malabsorption from these health issues. You can't get your bones deteriorate, your teeth deteriorate because you're not getting calcium and you're not getting the nutrition you need when your intestines don't work properly and your body with, one autoimmune disease is enough to take someone out. I have 4 or 5. So my body in every way is attacking itself constantly. From thyroiditis to the Hashimoto's disease to blood. I mean, I got it all. And it's just like every day's a miracle. And I say to the Lord, Lord, what are we doing? What do you want me to do now? Because you limited me. I can barely get out of bed. I can barely pray. All I can do is offer this suffering up. I need you completely for everything. I can't get through this day without you. I get out of bed and I can barely walk. I almost fall over now because to walk on these ankles is so painful. It's as if somebody broke them with a hammer or shoved spikes through them, railroad spikes through them, and I have to get up and jump out of bed and be to work on time, and it's just like I'm slowing down so fast, and it's scary. It is really scary. I'm worried about ending up in a wheelchair. Suddenly death is like, it gives me hope. Like I'm kind of really hoping that they're going to tell me, Steve, you have cancer. It's not ulcerative colitis, it's cancer. So and we can't do anything about it. So I can say, praise God, I'm going home. It'll be over soon. All this suffering will be over soon, and I'll be able to go to heaven, hopefully, and it'll all be over, and it'll all be worth it. That's kind of where I'm thinking now, because it's like, it almost looks like, I'm not losing hope, but it's almost hopeless. And I don't want to live another 10, 20, 30 years like this. It's already been 41 years of suffering, and it's getting worse, and I don't have a family who loves me, who will be there with me for support in any way. Mental support, moral support. I have one person in my life, Donna, right now, who's reliable. That's it. And it's a lot of burden on her, and I don't know. Everything I ever thought or hoped for and tried to do turned to dust. All we are is dust in the wind. And so I just throw my hands up in the air and I'm like, I don't know where we're going now, Lord. I don't know if I'm being punished. I don't know if I messed up. I don't know if I got off track. I don't know what's happening now. I don't know if this is the enemy. I don't know. But I'll tell you this much, it is the biggest test of faith. To hold on to your faith when it feels like God himself hates and forsakes you. We know he won't, but there's times where you're dry and you're going through this and you're wondering where he is and why he's allowing this. And he doesn't answer. And you have to rely on all the times he used to answer. And remember the miracles. Because how quickly you forget all God's goodness when you're going through hell. So, when you're going through the storm. So, I'm hoping that this is just maybe a chastisement out of love, or maybe a test, or going to help me sanctify me somewhere. I don't know. We don't know. I'm not going to be safe, and you're not going to be safe, unless we hear those words on Judgment Day from Jesus himself saying, well done, my good and faithful servant. Enter into your master's joy. Otherwise, you and I are going to hear, depart from me, you wicked, lazy servant, into the lake of fire. I never knew you. Or you evildoer, I never knew you. And we don't want to hear those words, because then we're going to be thrown into lava, and we'll be held down and tormented by demons for all eternity. So, yeah, not only am I dealing with all of this, and the possibility of death being always at the door, but the fact of an eternity burning in hell, a very real hell that I'm telling you it's real. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so, I understand why the rest of the world just doesn't worry about God or religion. They block it out. You don't want to know the truth because life's hard enough, isn't it? And you just want to enjoy your life. You just want to go to... And those of you who have everything, good jobs, good looks, good health, everything, and you just go about your day, you're thinking about trivial, stupid, unimportant things, can't wait to get out of work for happy hour. Me and my girlfriend's going to go have some martinis and flirt with some guys at a bar, and, we're going to get our nails done, and, we're going to buy that $1,000 Prada purse because, I deserve it, I work hard. Oh, yeah, that's just great. But you don't pay attention to God or the suffering people like me in the world who need you. You just live for yourself and enjoy this world. And you say, oh, hey, I only live once. Yeah, you're right, you do. And that once was not so you can just go and enjoy your life. That once was so that you can find your way to heaven and prove yourself worthy of the Son of God so you can be saved. It wasn't for you to go get your hair and nails done all the time and go to on vacation all the time. This isn't just one big party down here. But you don't know that because you got it all, right? You don't know what suffering is. You don't know what poverty is. A lot of you have good families, close families. You don't know what it's like to have your family throw you to the street and go tell you to go kill yourself. Like a sick bird kicked out of the nest. You don't know what it's like to have to live completely relying on faith and grace alone. You don't know what it's like to be in excruciating pain every day, to have no home of your own, to not know what tomorrow's going to bring, if you're even going to have a roof over your head tomorrow, or a job, or if you're going to end up in a wheelchair. You don't know. Okay? So, but you will know when this happens to you, if it happens to you. So, I don't know why God allows this to happen to people who are already trying to serve Him. He really puts us through the test. But, I know why. We're supposed to be refined. We're supposed to prove ourselves. We have to prove that through thick and thin, till death do we part, that we love Him, that He comes first no matter what. And He went through a lot of pain and suffering, and there's no easy way. There is no easy way to heaven. It is not, it is a hard and narrow walk, and this is why few find it or choose to walk this narrow way, because you don't know. God may require my life tomorrow. He may require me to be persecuted or stoned to death or burned to this. You don't know with Him, and people don't want to take the chance, so they just say, I'll just live my life and cut the whole Jesus thing out and not worry about heaven or hell and just tell myself they don't exist so I can enjoy this life while I have it. And that's fine. And Satan will love you and he'll give you whatever you want, looks, beauty, or whatever. You'll have a wonderful life. You'll never suffer like me. You'll have a wonderful life. But then that credit card bill is going to come in when you're on your deathbed or when you die in a car accident suddenly. And now what? Because you don't have Jesus to save you. Now you're not going to heaven. So I hope the little time you had enjoying this life, which is fleeting, was so worth it. Because I hope it was so much fun that it was worth burning in fire for eternity for. When I think about that, I can't really complain about my health issues, because I'd rather suffer now and go to heaven and never suffer or cry again and have everything I never got to enjoy down here for all eternity will never be taken away from me. And I'll have the Lord and He'll be happy with me. I'll be happy with Him forever. Instead of burning in hell because I had it all now. So yeah, I'm trying not to be ungrateful here. I'm trying to be grateful for my sufferings. I'm trying to just trust God and say, Lord, you know that I can't do this without you. You know how sick I am. You know I need you. You can heal me just like that if you want. You can restore everything, health, everything. I can have a house. I can win the Powerball tomorrow. Or you might require me to suffer worse and I might die. But maybe I'll go to heaven. So keep your eyes on Christ. Do not forget the reason we're down here. Do not forget to thank God for everything you have, even when if your life stinks like mine or if it's wonderful. Because it could be taken away like that. And you only have what He allows you to have. And don't say, I worked hard for it. You can only work hard for it because He designed you with the right DNA so you can have the health to have the job that you have, to be able to work. If I take away your arms or your ability to walk or your health or watch how you can't do that job anymore. Okay, some of you were born with intelligence. Some people are mathematics whizzes. Some people were, can play a violin. Everybody is different. But some people can preach. Some people... The point is, God created every one of us specifically. There's nobody else who can do what we can do, what we're meant to do. We all have a mission that we're supposed to do while we're on earth. And the goal of life is not to enjoy this life, it's to find out what that goal is, what that mission is, so we can fulfill it for the Lord and hear a well done. So, alright, anyway, I can go on and on and on. I'm just, I hope this is a sobering message. I hope anybody watches it. I know my views have gone down even more. People come on and then they come right off. They don't want to hear reality. They don't want to hear negativity. They don't want to hear woe is me. This really bothers them because it scares them. Because this is exactly what they don't want. Well, did you think I wanted this? When I was young and healthier and I had the whole world in front of me and my whole life ahead of me, I had big plans. I was going to live in a mansion and I was going to be a Hollywood superstar and then I was going to be a priest one day and give it all to charity and, be holy. And I had big plans. Yeah. Well, God laughs at our plans because he's got a different plan and he's going to have his way one way or another. So you can make all the plans you want, but you better learn fast and don't learn the hard way like me. You need to say every day, Lord, thank you for this day of life. Thank you for everything. And what would you like me to do for you today? What do you want? What is your plan for my life? Because otherwise you're going to be swimming upstream against the current. God's trying to get you to do something that it was important that he created you for, and you're trying to just live your life and do anything but. And you're trying to escape and do your own thing. And, that's why we learn to surrender. And say, okay, Lord, I surrender. What do you want? And just do it. When God is with you, no one can be against you. But if God is against you, and I hope he's not against me, but it sure feels like it right now, you're in trouble. So, just pray for me. And like I said, I will never lose my faith. It's what keeps me alive. Christ keeps me alive. Otherwise, I could not have survived this long. And considering things are so bad, sometimes it is tempting to just give up and die. But, no, Jesus didn't do that for us. He fought and he went to the cross for us. So it's the least I can do for him after all he's done for me. And again, this is about souls. My soul and the souls of my family and friends who my prayers fight for every day. Who Jesus died for, but they don't know him. So maybe I'm suffering for their sake so that they might be converted one day. We don't know what God's plans are. We don't know. But I can tell you this much. He's real. That I know. I know that Jesus Christ is real. He's Lord. His mother Mary is real. I'm not going to get into the miracles of how I know these people are real, but I'm telling you, Jesus is real. And no matter how bad this life gets, and it's going to get worse for all mankind soon, and that's what scares me so bad about my health situation, because I'm afraid that if things get worse in the world, what about me? Like, what if I need a colostomy bag, and then all of a sudden we have World War III, and I'm not going to survive? This is scary. What if I'm in a wheelchair in a few months, and then everything gets worse on Earth? I just got to trust the Lord. I know He's real. I know He's there, and that's why I am the person I am, and that's why I preach. I'm telling you, look, if I'm still alive after all this, I'm telling you it's because of Him. And I'm telling you that I will die when He wants me to die and not before then. And I'm telling you that Jesus Christ is Lord and that heaven is real. I know this. And just trust me. I mean, if you know me and you've heard my backstory, then you know I know for certain. And so, again, don't look at all this suffering and illness and stuff I'm going through and be like, oh, well, if God's real, why are you going through that, Steve? I thought you were His servant. Because sometimes some of us, as His servant, have to suffer. There's reasons for everything. I'm not going to forfeit my eternity just because I don't want to suffer. So just know that no matter what happens to me, nothing changed. God is still on the throne. He's real, and you need to know Him, and you need to get to heaven. And a lot of you aren't going to have to go through illnesses like I go through. A lot of you have it a lot easier in life. So you should be at church. I mean, I try to get there as often as possible, and my health gets in the way. Otherwise, I would be there. And I'm there 3-4 times a week. So, and I still got to work 5 days a week, So if I can do this in terrible agony, you guys who don't have all these health problems, there's no excuse for you not to be in church, at least on the weekends, and helping other people and living a real Christian lifestyle. I have to do it. And there's times where I cry out to the Lord, you know what? You're getting me mad now. Like, come on, I'm trying to do everything you want me to do. Be a real good Christian here, 24/7, behind closed doors and in public. And you just keep knocking me down with health issues and attacks and enough. Like, no wonder you don't have any friends. Like, this is a lot. Why do you do this to people? And then you want me to go out there and preach, how wonderful it is to be a Christian when this is what... It's not wonderful sometimes. It's really not. But you know what? Again, when you know him and you know he's real, you just say, I surrender, Lord. You're God. Who am I to judge? That's it. I work for you now. And it is what it is. You suck it up and you do it. It could always be worse. Let me tell you what's worse. A life without Christ. What's worse is that before I had Christ, I was a lot healthier. I was a movie actor. My whole life was so different. And I had everything you could ever want. But I didn't have him. And I'm telling you that ever since I started following him, he took all that away from me. And it's been a lot of suffering. But you know what? I still would rather do this and have him and be on the road to heaven than never to go back to not knowing him and having everything I could want in life. Good looks, good health, good car, a great career, everything I want, but not have God and not have heaven when I die. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. So I would rather suffer and lose my legs if I have to. Please don't do that to me next. But seriously, and go to heaven then, because I know, and I'm telling you, no matter what happens to me, you remember, Jesus is real. I'm telling you, no matter how bad this gets for me, you do not give up your faith and say, oh yeah, look, how did that work for you, Steve? No, I'm telling you, it's working. This might be what I need or deserve. I have merited my sufferings and my sins. I deserve worse. So he's going easy on me. And if I get to heaven, I don't deserve to be there. So that's mercy. And so, yeah, I cannot complain. I have to keep doing this. I have to keep preaching and keep going because that's what it's all about. And so, yeah, I'm going to get going now because it's late and I got to go get up early again tomorrow and fight this body and get it moving so I can get my day going again. And there's going to be a lot more appointments coming up and stuff. So we are in this together, me and Jesus and you, my followers. And I need your prayers constantly. And, some of you also suffer too. And so I don't want you to focus on your suffering and not the Lord. You need the Lord to get you through the suffering. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. And even if you do, you're not going to make it to heaven without him. So I think after a lifetime of suffering, heaven's a real good deal in the end. So you don't want to miss out on being a saint and going to heaven. Otherwise, all of this was for nothing. So you remember that. No matter what, praise Jesus. Have a good night, everyone.